everyone. So today my daughter is here. We are going to do a tutorial for you. Some of my dancers have to have a high ballet bun or low ballet bun. We are going to demonstrate and do a tutorial on the high ballet bun, but pretty much if your dancer has to have a low ballet bun, she might have to have her head parted in the middle or on her right side apart. It's pretty much the same concept. But I'm going to demonstrate the high because that's the majority of the ballet bun that we do, and I'm going to help you become a little familiar with it so it's easy during recital time, picture time for you. Normally in person I explain this to you, but because we aren't together right now, I'm doing a tutorial online for you. So you should have your dancer do, so depending on her age, you'll have her on a chair, preferably one with a low back, so you can see the top of her head and her shoulders up, and you're able to work around her head. I like to have my daughter turn around in the chair, just because if there is a high back or whatnot, I don't feel restricted with the back of the chair. So she's gonna turn around, so she's gonna show you what she's gonna do here, and face me before I start combing her hair and placing it in a high ponytail. Okay, so now that she's facing backwards, there are a couple different things you can use to create the ballet bun. You can use one of these small donuts, and they sell them at a lot of the beauty stores, and I've also seen them at the Dollar Tree. But back before they made those, an old sock, so an old sock that you no longer need, what basically you're going to do is on one end of the sock, you're going to cut it. And I've seen different kind of bun holders. I only know how to work these two styles. So if you have other ones and that works well for you, awesome. So basically you're gonna take the sock and you're gonna roll it down. So this is what I'm doing here. I'm gonna roll it down to create like that donut. And here we go right here. So now we're going to gather all of her hair, and she has a lot of hair. So even if your dancer has a little bit of hair or a lot of hair, it's best to work with a couple of day-old hair so it's not super, super clean and fresh. The hairspray, the bobby pins, it's easier to gather the hair. It just makes life a little bit easier. So I am now gathering all of her hair to create a high pony, and you would do this the same if you're making a low bun. You would just place your parts where you are supposed to. If it's a right part, you put it on her right side, or if it's a middle part, you put it in the middle of her hair, and you just gather it all, smooth it out. You can use gel or hairspray, or you can wet her hair down with the spray bottle. Whoops! You can throw your comb, and let me grab that. So, and she doesn't always like this because she says I hurt her, so I try to be as soft as I can. High buns are trickier, especially if your dancer has a lot of hair or a little bit of hair. I know when she used to have very little hair, you'd have a lot of flyaways and bits and pieces of hair falling down. Just gather as much as you can in the high pony. And like I said, if the hair is dirty, once you spray it with that gel and hairspray, it'll stick, and you won't have it falling out of the pony. So that's what we are doing here. And her hair is pretty, is it clean right now, Sarah, or is it pretty dirty? So her hair is pretty clean right now. So hers might be a little tricky. So then you're going to take the ponytail, and you want a real thick pony or a thin pony. Some just to make sure the hair is very secure. And that's what we're doing here. And then you see all this hair she's got here. Now this is where you use the donut. So you can use this donut or this donut. I'm going to show you with the sock, because basically the sock and the donut are the same way. And even if their hair is thin, this is going to create the bun. So you see how the sock is right there? That's going to create the bun when you gather the hair around it. Or you can put this on. I don't recommend, if you have a smaller child of 3, 4, 5, and 6, getting the giant bun holder, just because it'll weigh down their hair unless they have a lot of hair or a little bit of hair, and it'll cover it. So I like to use the medium one on her. I only really like to use this I used to use this bigger one when she was a little bit younger and she had less hair. It was still long enough to cover the donut, but it gave her a little bit thicker bun. You don't want it to look ginormous on her head where it looks kind of abnormal. So basically, as you can see, I'm just draping the hair over the bun holder, and you can do the same thing with the sock. And then I find a middle part, and then this is where I fish the hair around it. So this is where your fingertips are going to come into play. And you're just going to fish it around, and you can do this in half, you can do this once, and we have it there, and I have it shaped the way I like it. So she's going to put her head down just slightly. See how it's shaped right there? And then now you're going to take the bobby pins, and I like to use my 3 or 4 anchors, I should say. So I go find 3 spots or 4 spots, depending on how much hair your daughter has, or, well, if your son has long hair too, you can use that too. And I find those 4 parts. So it's like 1 in the middle, 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and 1 on each side. And so that's what I'm doing here. And I like to use the smaller bobby pins on her because she doesn't like the bigger ones because she says they hurt. If you can get the bigger ones, I would use 3 of those if you have a dancer with a lot of hair. But she has a lot of hair, but it's like in thin layers. So she doesn't like the bigger ones, so I try not to use those. And then once I have the bun shaped the way I like it, then I go around with my remaining bobby pins and add 4 more. Really, to be honest with you, if you do this right and well, you don't need probably more than 10 to 12 bobby pins total if you're using the smaller ones. If you're using the bigger ones, 3 to 4 of the bigger ones, and then I use 3 or 4 of the smaller ones just to kind of shape the bun and place the bun. So hopefully I'm not hurting her because she doesn't like to be hurt, and I'm sure your guys' dancers are very sensitive too as well. And she's just thrilled to have a ballet bun in her hair today. And I always like to have her shake her head a little bit. So when she's moving around on stage, she puts her head up and down, around and around to make sure it's going to feel secure. And then I ask her, and you can even do this with your younger dancers too. So Sarah, do you think I need more bobby pins? So she's telling me I need 1 right there because she feels like it's going to fall. And even the little ones will tell you, because she's been doing this, she's been telling me that her opinions on the weight, the height, the shape, and the security of her bun for years. So this is not some, thing that happens when they're 13. She's been doing this for years. Now, can you give it a good shake? So if you notice, I haven't sprayed or anything, did any final sprays. Good? Okay, so now at this point, you're going to use a heavy-duty hairspray. If you're weirded out by hairspray, there's also good spray gels that are out there. And you just kind of spray and then shape and then get all the wispies. Obviously, the dirtier her hair is, the easier it is to gather the wispies and the less spraying is involved with the hairspray. So make sure your dancer's hair, if she's in dance pictures and she has to wear a bun for dance pictures or for competition or for performance, to have some dirty hair. And then she'll just keep it dirty until she's done with those practices and performances and her dance pictures. And then once I have it sprayed the way it looks, and I'm using it, as you can tell, I'm using very little. This is when I place the hair piece on. So depending on the type of hair piece that you have, like a crown or a comb or even like an applique, you'll either place the applique on their head and bobby pin it, or you will place the crown on or the barrettes or the comb on her hair. Once you have it placed and everything looks good and she looks good, have her look in a mirror. So she's going to turn around and use you guys as a mirror, and she's going to say, yes, she likes how the bun looks. So make sure they have some control over that.
Yeah.
It looks good. So if I was to place a headpiece in, this is when I would do it. And then when that headpiece is in, I give it a final spray because it holds the headpiece. Once you place the headpiece in with bobby pins or you place the comb in or anything like that, it kind of keeps it extra safe to her head, and it's not going to fall out while she's performing on stage. Dance pictures not as picky because they don't do a whole lot of movement. Right, Sarah? Okay. Okay, so here I have a couple different accessories that she has for her hair. These are the bobby pins. Depending on what your dance teacher wants, you'll place it on the right or left, if it's on the side or top. I've seen headbands as far as headpieces for ballet buns. I've also seen these too as well, which is like a ponytail. Sometimes it's really hard to place the ponytail over the bun. So if you can fit it over her bun, perfect. If you cannot, I highly recommend, and I've done this, I've seen some of the other dancers do it with a lot of hair. They take the ponytail and they kind of feed it in the bun like that, and then they use the bobby pins to put around the elastic. So it won't necessarily fit over the bun like this without stretching it out to the max. They fed it through the bun and then use bobby pins. So that, once you have your headpiece on, you want to make sure you finalize with the good spray. So that concludes our tutorial on the high ballet bun. And Miss Sarah's gonna pop up too, because there she is. And she's gonna give you a little 180 tour of her ballet bun. Yep. And that concludes. And if you have any questions, let me know. Do you want to give them another twirl, Sarah? And like I said, you can use the same method for a low bun and a high bun, with a part, without a part, and whatnot. So hopefully this video helped you all and you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.